That's really interesting. So you took a lot of money and invested back in the employees' futures and a lot of training and stuff.
Oh,
How did you come up with those types of incentives to make sure all of your employees were aligned with your too, and they also had a lot of upside? Is that something you had seen someone
yeah.
else do, or just something you believed in from your core from the very beginning?
Really, be honest with you, um, kind of, I kind of backed into that. I'll be honest with you. When we took the company public, um, I was making a large salary. I mean, I'm not, I was granted a large salary by the board, and then I was granted options and things like that. So when the company sold 99, I walked away with millions. Not enough. Um, I always felt a little guilty about that because I was just another employee. Um, I hadn't risked a whole lot. Um, I always felt like the income I was making was disproportionate to the next guy lower than me. I still feel that way. I feel the Wall Street, the guys who ruin companies and walk away with you know,
Parachutes. Yeah.
yeah, I just don't understand that. I felt so. I kind of in my own mind felt like, well, first of all, if I'm going to make any money, I make it when we sell a company. Beyond that, I just need enough to live my life and, where everything else I want to reinvest in the company and besides the fixed capital, the assets that I can buy, uh, I want to invest in the people because they're going to make the money for me. I, I can influence maybe 20% of the people around me. That those 20% got to go in, influence 20% more. I have to be like a preacher, uh, preaching the doctrine. We don't have any costs. There is no cost in this company. We have investments. Okay. Don't come to me with tell me this is a cost. Come to me, tell me you want this money, and I'm going to get this return for it. Okay. So, and by the way, every quarter I'm going to review that to see if we got that return because I want you to come to me with an honest number each time. I don't want you to come to me with a capital expenditure request saying, look, we're going to get this internal rate of return and you're going to get paid back in 2 years. And so I need this $4 million. Well, I'll give you the $4 million, but guess what? 3 months from now, we're going to double check and see what you're doing. And then 3 months from that, 3 months for that, until I find out that what you're telling me going forward is correct. And by the way, this is your company too. Yeah, when we, a couple, it got to the point where, in all honesty, Ryan, I couldn't, it got so much momentum going with people involved in it being their company. I couldn't have changed it if I wanted to at one point. I mean, I remember walking through the plant one day and on a tool crib, there was a big check that they had made and put on the tool crib and had written a number in there, let's say $67,000. Let's say, I don't remember what it was. I'm looking at them and going, what the heck is that? So I was scratching my head and one of the maintenance workers came up to me. He says, you know what that is? And I says, no, I haven't got any idea what that is. And he says, that's what we scrapped last month. He says, that should have been in our bonus pool. We shouldn't have scrapped those 67,000. I'm going, what? So I got shipping and receiving clerks that know we scrapped $67,000 and know who scrapped it, by the way, what department and where.
Yeah, there's accountability there.
Well, it's like their company, not mine anymore. So, I had to learn a thing called guided discovery, I call it, because I found out I wasn't necessarily so much in charge anymore. Because I would say we did the Hoshin, like I said, which was doing the right things. And then we did Kaizen events during the year, which was doing them right. So doing right things right is Kaizen. And we adopted those. You could adopt any one of those, continuous improvement type things, but those are the ones we adopted and lived with. And we assigned, each division would do like 4 a year. We would take these people who we were going to lay off and we'd put them in these programs to learn Kaizen and, other methods, run charts and so on. And they would, then when we would, through attrition or through growth, hopefully, we would then put them back out on the floor or in the business where they were going to go to work. They came out with all this knowledge and I would find out that they'd be running events that I didn't even know about. They were doing 4 a year, we're doing 15 a year, because they see an opportunity to improve their department. They'd improve the department. And what am I going to do? Tell them no? They go ahead with it.
So so much of what you're talking about is like, it's so interesting because so much of what you were doing was in reinvesting back in them, their own education, and allow them to have upside in the company and extreme accountability, right? So I'm keeping my counterpart accountable, and he's keeping me counterpart, and she's keeping all of us accountable, so that if one of us makes a mistake and there's a big check of $67,000, that's the bonus that didn't get split 3 ways.
Let's talk about it. How do we stop that next time?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you're all on the same team rather than you have these inner departments who, one department doesn't want to share information with the next department and that sort of thing. That's incredible. And so you were able to kind of create that organization, and then you sold that company, correct, right? So that was the one you sold in
In
'99.
all honesty, I had a small percentage of the company. GE Capital had the most of it.
Yeah, and they were the ones
We were
financing the
available.
acquisitions, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.